Welcome back to another episode of Keoni Chats. If you're watching on YouTube and you see that, hey, I can see a little bit more of your background. Hey, I can see you a little bit more of you. It's because I decided to say goodbye to the tabletop lamp. Goodbye to that harsh beam of light that is shooting at me as I'm trying to interview or record an intro. And just goodbye to seeing dots after the interview and just trying to, get my vision back together. I decided to invest in a studio light that stands on its own, so less hassle when it comes to getting ready for an interview or getting ready to record an intro. So very excited to take that step towards a better quality of video for the YouTubers at home or on the go. And I have more plans as far as changing up the visual quality of the show. Just because this is working, this is great, but can I push it? Can I try a new thing, and can I maybe get a new level of comfortability? That's a challenge I'm setting for myself. But we're here because I have a great episode for everyone. I get to reconnect with my lifelong friend Zach Kelley. Zach and I played football together when we were kids, and freshman year was our last year of playing together as he ultimately decided to transfer to another school to finish out high school. So we didn't talk for a little bit just because A, we're busy with life, and we're growing up. We're trying to figure ourselves out, and college, or just figuring out what we want to do if college is not in the picture, or just trying to get life together. So I did keep up with him, as social media is a very prominent and very big presence in life nowadays, and just when we were kids. So I found out that after high school, he went off to become a football coach at Liberty High School. And then he ultimately made the jump from Oregon, Pacific Northwest, to Cedar Hills, Texas, to become the running backs coach for the Cedar Hills High School Longhorns. So what was crazy about that is just that, Pacific Northwest football is not as big, and ever since I grew up, since I was a kid that played Pee Wee football, I knew that Texas was the state that football lived and breathed. So for him to make that jump and be a coach and help those kids get to where they need to go as far as college and NFL, if that is their path, that was just amazing to me, and I'm just so happy for him. And he also married his high school sweetheart, and her and I also went to high school together. So it's just an amazing family, a beautiful family, and he has 3 kids. I was like, holy smokes, you have 3 kids, man. It's he's a wonderful dad. I haven't met their kids, but just by this conversation and just by what I know of him, he's the right man to be a great father and right man to be a great coach, because he also treats his players as if they're kids. Not as if they're kids, but as if they're his kids. So we dive into a lot of things. We talk about a lot of things, especially what's going on in society and how the professional sports realm is handling what's going on also, and how he wants his kids to, or how he's helping their. And we talk about a lot of things. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm kind of rambling a little bit, or just kind of my words are getting jumbled. So, we have a great conversation, and I was just so grateful for him because we had this talk. We moved a little bit, and it went a little bit later for him because he is in a different time zone. But he still is very adamant about going to the gym in the morning, and then also posting about his meals and his fitness journey, because he's trying to keep his kids focused and motivated by being the example. And that was awesome. I loved it. So before we dive into my chat with Zach Kelley, if you are a fan of this man on my left shoulder, The Flash, Green Arrow, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, I am reviewing all of the DC animated movies, and I am currently in the midst of 2016. So, as I'm recording this, 2 more movies just got released. So this project is never going to be over, and I love it because I love animation, I love superheroes, and I just love the crazy things they can get into, because there's limitless possibilities versus a live action. So If that's something you're interested in, check it out. It's going to be under keoniconlu.com. You go to blogs and hit the DC image, and then that should take you there and about the breakdown of each year. I also want to let people know that I'll be taking a couple weeks off, so the next episode will be released on September 19th. That is a Saturday. So I'm very excited to get some time off, refresh the eyes, kind of attack in a new direction. So whether you are listening to this episode on Spotify or iTunes, or you're watching this on YouTube, I hope you enjoy my chat with Coach Zach Kelley. Zach Kelley, my goodness, assistant coach with the Cedar Hills High School down in Texas, joining me on the virtual chat. Thank you so much for stopping by, Zach. We've known each other for so long, so I'm super excited to see you. And God, man, this is great. How you doing down there?
Man, I'm doing great. I was just telling my wife, Kaylin, man, I still remember going by your guys' house. I think it was either 8th grade.
Yeah.
I still remember my parents kind of walking by. We were kind of just, I still remember, I don't know why I remember that specifically, but I just remember that. Man, it's been years.
Man, I remember that. We're pretty close to your parents, my family and your family, and what was fun is that I just remember playing football practice with you, and you were just like you were a complete wall. Like I tried running into you, or I tried to like push you around, you would not budge. I was like, God dang it, this is that Kelley guy. He just won't move.
I miss those days on the football field. I'm not gonna lie. I still remember, because gosh, who was our 8th grade football coach? It's just dude, I remember all that stuff. I still remember that big white jersey with the purple numbers that everybody thought was so dang clean. And I'm looking back, I'm like, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Times were different. Yeah. We thought we were like the coolest thing, crisp and whatnot. And now with jerseys nowadays, which you are very well affiliated with, being a football coach in the high school, it's like night and day. Our jerseys are now practice jerseys.
Yeah, that's the scary thing is we have stuff from when we played that are practice jerseys. Just like you said, it's disheartening, man. We're getting old.
If you love wearable art and you need a new way to express yourself, you need a little pop and sizzle, you need a refresh, I got the place for you. It's called Little Shop of Pins. Business owners are Amy and Jason Lewag. And if they sound familiar, they were former guests on my show. But I support this company. I love this company for the creativity and the collaborations they push out. So they just released their collaboration with Ryan Smallman in accordance to the DC fandom that happened on August 22nd of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Oh, I ordered one and then I saw it in person for the first time and my heart melted. It is gorgeous. So if you need a new way to express your love for Iron Giant, you got Marty McFly and some of Back to the Future, or if you're a fan of The Mandalorian or everything Star Wars, check them out. And also if you're Filipino and you need a new way to express your love for the Philippines, I recommend going back to them because they have a great assortment of Pinoy Pride, Filipino Pride pins. So like you got the sorbet cart, you got the Halo Halo, and then you also got the Jolly Bee. So check them out, littleshopoffpins.com. Check out their pin inventory. You're going to be just blown away. So there's a lot of things going on in society right now, but what I want to touch base on with you first is COVID and how's the family doing and how are you handling all that?
It's just different. Masks and everybody's arguing about stuff and everybody's got their own opinion, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. We're just trying to make it, man. We're just trying to stay under the radar, do what we got to do to get back to whatever the new normal is. Everybody's using that phrase. We had our daughter, our third kid, Ella Faith, during this crisis. She's 4 months now. So, just make it the best. I'm always one, try not to complain, just trying to adjust. So yeah, we're doing pretty darn well over here, man.
Yeah. And Nick is your elder. how was it becoming a dad? That's insane. Like, I remember when I first found out, I was like, what?
Yeah,
That's insane.
completely changes your life, man. I know you hear that from everybody else, but it really does. It makes you rethink how about just about how you do everything. You know,
Mhm.
you always got, we always talk about it. I mean, shoot, as players, we always had our eyes on the coaches and what they did, and they were kind of like that role. But man, when you have a son or a daughter, it just completely like it's 24/7. You're always worried about them. You're always thinking about what you need to do better. Man, it to be honest, it's a little scary.
It's a scary world right now, man. So, I mean, for you to bring in a little one, Ella Faith, that's just fantastic. I mean, you made it this far as a parent. You're just gonna keep making strides and keep pushing towards, the it's not no such thing as a perfect parent, but as close to perfect as you can get. I think you and Kaylin are pretty good. Are gonna make that.
Thank you. As long as we're trying to get 1% better each day, that's a big motto in our house.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that also on a giant board posted up by the wall that you kind of touch on your way out?
No, I get no room when it comes to decorating. None of this place would be put up with play like a champion, practice like a champion, or stuff. I get no say on interior decorating. This place would look like a locker room.
So, speaking of kids, you have a ton of kids as far as you being a coach and then you seeing those players as your kids. I've kept up with your social media. I also dived pretty deep into there. I saw that you are posting your workouts, your foods, and you're trying to, stay in shape, and you're trying to inspire other people like your players to stay in shape also. How has that been as far as for your own personal fitness goals?
That's just something that came on. At the beginning of Corona, I started trying to take better care of myself. And then just as we got going along, as restaurants opened up again, I started going out, wanted to try new food places. And I just kind of sat back one day. It was about a month ago, and I've always done this where I'm going back and forth. Weight up, weight down. My family's struggled with weight for a long time, so that's why I kind of wanted to find. I needed more ways to hold myself accountable. I needed more people holding me accountable, so that way, if people are on me, if I miss a post or anything, they're messaging me, seeing what's going on. I'm part of a weight loss group, and it's been unique, man. This is the first time I've lifted since I was really a senior in high school, and you forget how much you miss it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been lifting a little bit, running. I'm not seeing huge losses in the on the scale in terms of numbers, but I feel a lot better, and my stuff fits a lot better. I'm trying to keep that goal in mind. I mean, shoot, I'm not a small guy, so if I get my stuff fitting better, I'm not going to worry about those numbers.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's the numbers. As you and I are both former wrestlers, so we can obsess over a scale. We can
Yes.
obsess over every single details that lead up to that weigh-in. But at the end of the day, we're not wrestlers anymore. But it's a matter of how we feel on the inside versus how the scale looks.
Man, and I got to wrestle heavy, and I still worried about my weight. I had 60 pounds. I wrestled heavyweight at 225.
Oof.
I wasn't worried about a single thing, but I still hop on that scale with other skinny guys and watch what I ate for those guys. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I know how it goes.
Yeah, man. And how have your players responded to all your posts and your challenges to them to keep up with their exercises since they're not allowed to, since you guys can't meet up in person?
Well, they've done a really good job. That's why I will say I'm pretty blessed at where I'm at. Our kids got a really good mindset. They always want to work to be their best. So I wasn't necessarily worried when this all hit because our kids work harder than anybody. So I just wanted to put out that little reminder that, hey, everything counts. I'm trying to do stuff, make sure that you're doing stuff. Just stay ready because again, the season will happen, whether it's now or like a lot of states that are happening in spring. So it's just happening. They're really good about it. They're very, very positive, and they talk to me all the time. Hey, Coach Kelley, how's it going? In fact, we just had picture day yesterday. So the first thing they said was, "Oh, Coach Kelley, you look like you're losing a little weight, man." That got me. That was all I needed to know. That was all I needed to hear. I'm good to go. I'm gonna wake up here in about 6 hours and get a lift in.
There you go, man. Yeah, it only takes that one person to say something where you're like, okay, I'm gonna push a little harder because I want to get a little more. You don't want them to draw. I want their jaws to scrape on the floor for a little longer.
That's what I'm saying, man. I don't need a lot. I just, a little bit of praise here and there. Keep me going. Shoot.
Now, as far as this weight loss journey, what has that been doing to your mental health? Maybe some stability? Because I know for myself, I have a little bit of like a body dysmorphia. When I'm in the gym, I'm like, I'm never satisfied with my body. And only times I really was satisfied was wrestling, because it was a grind. You sweated, you worked out, even though we didn't want to work out. Until ever since then, I'm just been like, oh, I could get bigger arms. I can get a bigger chest. I could do this. So that's a kind of like a poisoning mindset. How has this weight loss journey been, and then being a coach just been doing for your mental health?
Man, it's been great. Honestly, my wife even said, we've been stuck in the house every day. So she's been like, man, you seem like a whole different person. You're all smiling and happy all the time, just trying to help out. So, I feel a lot better, and, she's seeing a difference, and, that's really what matters. So it's been really good in terms of that. And like you said, the wrestling, man, I'm still looking for that type of feeling, man. I remember, my head coach, I was doing 2-3 workouts a day in high school going into my senior year. I don't know if I'll ever look that good again, but man.
Yeah, you just, back then, the phone systems are still becoming like prominent. They're still working its way to where they are now. It's like, oh man, I remember taking it like, for the fans that listen, this is going to happen. Kids that are in wrestling that get in great shape, they're going to take photos of themselves shirtless, just kind of flex and see the progress. I think I photoshopped the Superman S on my chest one time.
Hey, man, you got to be feeling yourself, man. That ain't no problem.
That's true. See, now I feel better. All I need to hear was someone to say it's okay.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, that takes a lot of work to get to that level. You know how dang hard wrestling was, man. I still talk about that to this day.
I know. There's a guy that just got onto my work. He used to be a wrestler, so that's literally all I talk to with him. And it's just sometimes, and other stuff as well. But it's more like, dude, I'm on a diet. I'm like obsessing over the scale. This sucks, but it's a fun thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. If you're a female listener and you need help getting back into shape because maybe your gym got shut down, or maybe put on a little bit from quarantine. I know I have. I'm getting back in the gym. I just got back in the gym. This is probably my second workout, and I'm exhausted. But if you need some help getting back into shape, or if you just need help bulking up, toning up, or if you just want to work on legs or upper body, whatever it is, Jessica Ashman is the woman for you. So what you can do, just go to jessicaashmanfitness.com, hit book on that page, and then follow the instructions after that, and you just got yourself an appointment with Jessica. So that website again is jessicaashmanfitness.com. She's great as far as catering plans to what your goals are, and she just wants you to get to where you want to go. So yeah, book an appointment with her. She'll get you going back into the shape you want to be in. So as well as COVID, there is a Black Lives Matter movement going on. And I wanted to talk with you about that because you are a coach, you're a mentor, you're someone these kids look up to. And, being someone that these kids look up to of all sorts of races, as far as Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever else, how do you kind of keep their emotions directed in a healthy way? Because it's so easy to say that these kids are reacting without thinking, and the NFL teams, they're finally taking a different approach than just, being angry. They're actually stopping, having conversations, and then they're formulating their thoughts. How are you doing this with your players?
I think that's a big thing. And, for me, I coach at a predominantly Black school. So, I mean, this really hit home, even though I haven't had those issues, personally, firsthand. I've been around a lot of friends that have been discriminated against or been stereotyped. So that's my first thing is I'm making sure that they know that I know that that this is real. I'm not going to say that, oh, this is just fake. Everybody's still mad about Colin Kaepernick. I'm going to let them know that I care and that I see then the second thing that I'm going to try and do is urge them, to be proactive in their responses. Again, it doesn't have to be a violent response necessarily, but they need to know that, the old saying is be the change in the world that you want to see. So, go ahead and, be vocal about it, be upset about it. But again, what are you doing to make those strides to make this a better world for yourself, for your legacy that you leave behind? And that's always a big thing. It's just trying not to, it's such a hot button issue. I mean, you go on social media, you can't see one thread without having that argument or having that fight. It's just making sure that they're picking their battles and they're doing what they need to do to make sure that it's getting better. Because I feel like it will eventually get better. It's just going to take some time. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, it's it's hard to facilitate when it comes to things on the social media feeds, because they could feel something but they could still not tell you, and then something bad could happen. And in those kind of situations, what is your first thought when you could tell that a player is getting bothered but doesn't want to share it?
I just again, if they don't want to share it, I'm just going to tell them that whenever they do, I'm here. I mean, again, it's not as easy. Again, I have a relationship with all my kids where for the most part, they're going to open up. They're going to tell me what's bothering them or what's making them upset, and, give me that chance to counsel them. But, if there was a circumstance where maybe it was just too fresh, I'd completely understand, the videos going around of, all these young African-American men getting shot up. I mean, it's going to incite not everybody's going to react the same. It's going to incite some emotion. So it's just one of those things where I just be patient. That'd be my first thought, is let them handle it however they need to handle it. Not everybody's going to be the one to get up and say, all right, we need to change this right away. People need to sit down, compose their thoughts first.
Yeah. And, you and I were both high school athletes, and it was tough, just trying to handle school and education, and, just trying to get the practice. How do you feel towards these students that have to deal with already those aspects of life, and now with, their people being attacked? How do you help them keep everything in line, or what do you say to them to help them, keep them focused on the goal ahead as far as like getting out of high school, go to college, and all that?
Man, it's just the again, it comes back to that quote, be the change. I try and tell them, how are you going to change it? It's a lot more than just trying to go on social media and, put Black Lives Matter. What do you want to do? Go beat what these people are, what they think, go out, go get your education, become a prominent member within a community, go try and change how people perceive men that look like you. And, and just try and beat it that way. That's the only way that you can is going out and doing what they think that you're not going to do, or that you can't do, that you're incapable of. So that's the big thing, is just, control what you control and just try and take care of it. And again, eventually, like I stress to them, eventually you will be at a point where you will be able to make these changes. Keep fighting the good fight right now. But again, there will be some point in your life where you're going to be able to make monumental changes to how the community and society reacts.
Yeah. And being a coach must not be easy to be able to get all these thoughts put together. How have you kind of, take me on your coaching journey? Because I know after Sunset you went and became was it offensive line coach at Century, or?
No, I was so after I transferred from Sunset, I went to Liberty High School in Hillsboro.
That's it. You were a Liberty coach, right?
Yeah, I was at Liberty. I wrestled and I played football there, and then I went to Western Oregon, I believe my freshman year, and I started coaching the wrestling team there. And then, some stuff happened where I ended up going to Portland Community College for a year, and I ended up coaching football and wrestling there. Coach Eric Malum and Eric Givens, they took me under their wing. They were my high school coaches. I kind of expressed interest. So they took me in. I was originally the freshman offensive line and defensive line coach, and I was the varsity assistant for the offensive line. I did that for, I believe, 3 years. And then I moved to Texas. My wife her mom was here. So her mom was here, and, all her siblings were here. So I knew I wanted to start teaching and coaching. Well, what better spot to do it in Texas? So I came to Dallas Adamson in Oak Cliff. It's a school 95% Hispanic, and started my Texas coaching career there. I started out as a linebackers coach, then I became the defensive coordinator, and then I was the varsity offensive line coach, and the varsity defensive coordinator 1 year before I came to Cedar Hill as the head freshman coach. I kind of took a drop in position, to come to a more prominent school. And then the year after I was named the freshman head coach, I actually got promoted to the varsity running backs coach. So this will be my 10th year. Spent 3 in Oregon, and I've spent 7 now, going into my 7th year of coaching Texas high school football.
Ooh-wee. Okay, first off, you had some opportunities in college to coach. Why didn't you continue that? Because I know that, obviously I'm not a coach, or I'm just a former player. You make that progression from like little league to, like let's say football. It's like, minor, what is it, Pee Wee league, and then you kind of build your way up from there to high school and college, and then. So why did you decide to go to high school instead of continuing progressing in the college coaching field?
Because outside of FCS football and Division I, FBS football, you got to kind of cut your teeth a little bit. There's not a lot of, you don't get paid a lot. There's a lot of hours on the road. And, to be honest, at the time, Caitlin and I got married 2 days after we graduated high school. So, we started our family early. I passed up on opportunities to go play, some Division II football and wrestle. Just passed them up, and I just figured I'd start coaching high school because that's where I wanted to start anyway. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be a teacher and a coach. I always knew that. So, like I said, eventually my dream is to be one of those Division I coaches. Get to coach on Saturdays, but I'm so happy where I am right now, man. That's all I'm focused on. Whenever I get my opportunity, and that'll manifest in some way. But until then, I'm very happy where we're at.
There you go, man. And when we played together at Sunset, first off, I need to apologize because when you stole my starter center position, I was so mad at you. And then when I watch NFL nowadays, and I'm just like, the person that gets unseated and for the younger guy or the more talented guy, he acted in a better way than I did. So
I know you hated me, man. I knew.
I was so mad at you. Oh my God!
And I never wanted to play center.
I think it was more because you're just a bigger dude than I was. I was always a tiny man, but playing playing big spots.
Oh man. Trust me, I remember you being mad about that.
Yeah,
I know.
So mad. I just remember that photo also because this was announced maybe like 2 days before our photo day, and I didn't smile at all. I was so mad. Oh, so need to get that on record. Apologize for being a sore sport.
Hey man, it is what it is. Like I said, I didn't even want to play center, man. Like, you're playing here, all right.
So you didn't want to play center, but you were offensive line all across the board, and also I believe you were defensive line for a little bit while at Sunset.
Yeah.
How was that kind of wrapping your head when you jumped from O-line coaching to, let's say, linebackers, or then you coach your running backs? Tell me about that learning curve when it came to learning the position.
That's the thing, man. Football is football. There's so many intricacies that go into it. But, for the most part, if you look at any field, if you have a general idea, you understand how stuff works, you're able to figure everything else out. So, like when I got the running back job, the first thing I did was I called some of the best running back coaches I know. I told them what I knew. And, again, I was on online with most of what they were saying, what they teach, you know, but they had some different ways to present it. And I took it from there. But that's a big thing is, you know, if you have a general understanding of how this game is supposed to be played, you could figure out and put together anything. You know, I've coached everything from, again, I've coached every position on defense, and the only positions I haven't coached on offense are quarterback and receiver. So, I mean, for the most part, I feel like, and again, really, if you know how to coach O-line and if you played O-line, you know the sport, really. I mean, that's where everything ends and begins with the offensive line and defensive line. So that really wasn't too big. I could teach guys how to take steps from the running back spot and try and make them better there. But once you understand blocking and, you know, all that stuff, it's so much easier to learn the rest of the game than trying to learn it from the outside in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you wrote a book about that, but we'll touch base on that in a little bit. When it comes to your oldest son, Nick, when, you know, the stigma around playing football, obviously concussions is a big thing to worry about. Do you want Nick to play football?
He already does.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Let's retract that a little bit. Let's fix that a little bit. Would you want Nick to still play football well into, like, let's say college? Because at a young age, football teaches you so many things as far as like discipline, hard work, and it just drive. Installing that at a young age is great. But then when it comes to getting older, do you worry about the longevity of a football career when they start so young?
You know, I've never really worried about that because, again, like you said, especially at this age, I primarily focus on what this game teaches you. So that's really my big concern. I've never even thought about him playing college football. I've made jokes, you know, when he was born, number one overall pick here. But, you know, outside of that, if he's blessed enough and he wants to play college football and even more blessed to get his education paid for, if he wants to, I'm going to support him no matter what. And if he doesn't, I really have no concerns about it. The game has changed so much from even when you and I played. You know, when you and I played, we started by putting our face mask in the chest on blocking, putting our face mask in the middle of the chest while making a tackle. We don't do that anymore. So the game has really changed in a way to again make it a lot safer. And again, I don't know if I necessarily had concerns before all this either. You know, even before that came out, and even before, you know, how the game has changed is, you know, I need to see further research that's not, you know, trying to attack football.
Yeah, because it's gonna just be like football's bad. It's like, wait a minute there. There's some good things that come out of football, and then, you know, it's just also just a fun sport. It's like, I remember we're hearing or watching NFL Total Access, and then one of the analysts was just like, these guys are getting paid a king's ransom to play a kid's sport. It's like, oh, man. I thought I was gonna make that there, but I really didn't. So
yeah, no, I thought too. I never had any chance.
So you mentioned when you were shifting into a new position to be a coach, you reached out to some other coaches that already like in that position. So when you jumped to running back coach, you reached out to other running back coaches within the area. What is that coaching network like, and how far does it reach?
Man, for some dudes that have been in this business for a long time, it's crazy. You know, our head coach, man, I feel like he knows everybody in this country when it comes to coaching, and our recruiting coordinator, he's been coaching a while as well. And I feel like they know everybody from high school to college, and I feel like they know them all, you know, on a personal level. Me, I've been blessed, you know, through social media to meet a lot of great people. I started, you know, doing football chats and started little follow threads. And, you know, I've gotten a chance to meet a lot of great people that way. But it's just another way to meet coaches. The coaching network is amazing. You know, you'll have coaches that don't know you from Tom, Dick, or Harry, and they're going to give you whatever you need to try and make yourself better for the kids. So it's really great. I feel like I got a pretty good network of coaches that I know and I get to talk to on a regular basis. So it's pretty fun, man. We always talk about how coaching is one of the best professions in the world. Mm-hmm. Just because everybody's so willing to share and give, and just, you know, it's all for the kids when the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. So tell me about how you met Wade Phillips, former defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, which I know is your favorite team.
Yes. So it was kind of, I never thought I would be able to get the chance to talk to Wade, Coach Phillips. You know, it was, he posted something on Twitter during the Corona break. He's like, oh, you know, I got a break. You know, I'm not doing anything. I'll hop on a Zoom and talk football with somebody. So again, I'm a big dude I'm a big dude. I love social media. So I sent him a DM right away. I said, hey, Coach Phillips, I don't know if you'll even respond to this, but I would love to talk football with you because I loved when I was watching the Denver Broncos win the Super Bowl and go to Super Bowls, they were running that 3-4, you know, defense, attacking style that Wade Phillips and his dad, Bum Phillips, basically created. That was a defense I was running at the high school. So I was loving every minute of it.
Yeah.
So when he put a chance that he'd come out and talk or get on a Zoom and talk with some folks, man, I jumped at the opportunity. And I was blessed. He spent about an hour, you know, talking football, either telling stories or how stuff was created or, you know, just his experience coaching dudes like Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. It was incredible.
How much did you keep yourself in line when it came to talking to him or seeing when you first saw him on screen? Did you fangirl a little bit? Did you scream on the inside? Did you scream on the outside?
I did not, but I did know it was pretty damn cool. And, you know, I had told him I was a Broncos fan through a DM too. So he actually wore his Super Bowl 50 polo for that Zoom.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. I did not fangirl, but I'm like, okay, it's kind of surreal. Like, this is pretty neat. But
I mean, that's what's pretty awesome about in the position that you're in, as well as the position I'm in. Like and with social media altogether, you know, we're both having to use social media for different reasons, but you can just say, hey, I'm a fan of your work. I love to like sit down on a Zoom call, which Zoom's now coming so huge. What do you think? And then they get a response and you're just like, I made it.
yes,
I made it. Yes.
fist pumping.
Oh yeah, I fist pump like crazy. I don't know. This is something it should remind you about. I'm a fist pumper. I'm like, oh yeah, let's rock and roll.
I can't help it.
So other than Wade Phillips, I believe. Oh gosh, I was trying to find this on your Twitter where I think it was Coach Tony Dungy that like retweeted or like tweeted you.
Yeah.
Yes. How was it around like some wristbands, right? I want to say.
So that was, oh God, I just reached out to him about, you know, being an inspiration, being an influence. And I probably have the dang tweet screenshotted somewhere.
Yeah.
But he actually responded, and you know, I was doing these sending out these house call wristbands. That's what I call my position group, just kind of as a show of gratitude to coaches that have really shaped me. You know, like Tony Dungy, Dabo Sweeney, Urban Meyer. Let's see, who was the other? Oh, I sent, you know, there was a lot of position coaches in college that I got a chance to send them to. Brennan Marion, who's the wide receiver coach at Hawaii. Coach Stewart, he's the running backs coach at Arizona. He's always been, you know, and stuff. So, there we go. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, Coach Stewart, he's the running backs coach at University of Arizona. So I sent them some stuff. You know, I sent those wristbands to some of the high school coaches that have made a difference in my life. But no, I got a chance to send it to those guys. And again, Tony Dungy, when I asked him for a way to contact him, he just responded like that, and I eventually got a chance to send him something. So
there you go, man. That coaching network, it's growing for you.
That's all it is, man. They won't be able to pick me out of a lineup, but dang it, I got him a wristband.
How does it feel to, you know, when you, let's say you see a picture of Tony Dungy a little bit down the road and he has a wristband, or you see Wade Phillips or Dabo Sweeney and then they all have your wristbands. What would your first thought be if you saw a photo like that?
Man, I mean, that's been pretty cool. Some of them, you know, I'm not going to put them out there. Some of them actually did. You know, a lot of them responded via email because I put my contact info on there, you know, if they ever want to. I really want to make sure that they got there, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
I had to go through some, you know, some people to who knew some people to get those addresses. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know if this is legit, but if you could let me know that they made it. But no, like Tony Dungy sent me a picture of the wristband and hold it up and, responded. And it was really cool. Again, it may mean a lot to him, but it just meant more. It meant a lot more to me to be able to send it to him, because those guys I remember watching Tony Dungy coach in that Super Bowl against the Chicago Bears. And, I just watched how he handled stuff. I mean, I remember it was during a training camp where his son had committed suicide, and he was such a man of faith. And, I think he missed some time, but he didn't miss a lot, and it didn't shake, who he was as a person. He always relied on his faith, and that was a really big thing for me. So I definitely had to get him one. That's why it meant so much that I was able to send that stuff out and write a handwritten letter with it.
Yeah, there you go, man. It's that personal touch also, the handwritten letter. That's probably what really like solidified everything, because you just sent the wristband, the huge bit. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's, I'm realizing also how far a handwritten thank you note can go with like clients from my work, or just, coaches that you're trying to reach out to that, are very prominent. They're very much in the spotlight. So who knows? Maybe you're next on that spotlight.
Hey, man, if God blesses me with it, I'll take it.
How has it been also working with the media as far as, Oregon versus Texas? Because you sound very much media trained.
So, okay, it's crazy. But again, I eventually want to be one of those guys that has press conferences. So I even watch how coaches interview, even coming in from halftime. I'm weird like that. But no, it's actually been really nice. I believe. So I was able to talk and speak with reporters at, when I was a wrestling coach in Hillsborough. Mm-hmm. There's a really talented reporter, columnist, Andrew Nemec. I believe he works for the Oregonian right now. At the time, he was writing for some Hillsborough paper, I believe, or he was doing something on Oregon Live. And I got a chance to speak with him a bunch. He was phenomenal. And then I get here, and there's all of these media guys. And, the media, as much bad, publicity as the media gets, quote unquote, man, some of the best dudes, some of the best dudes I've met have been, either reporting or reporting or broadcasting. They're doing a really great job, and, kids love it. I love it. It gets to shine a light on the program or what you're doing. And it's phenomenal. And, there's just good dudes everywhere. And, the reporting aspect, there's good men and women doing great work, and it's been awesome.
Yeah. And originally my aspirations was to be a broadcaster or to be a writer again, because I did that a little bit in college. But this has been a lot more fun, just doing podcasts, just talking with people like yourself and getting stories. You do talk to the media, but who knows you as well as someone that you've competed with on the football field and got pissed off at.
Hey, I've had a lot of requests for, podcasts and doing stuff. This may take the cake. This has probably been the one I was most excited for.
Hey, all right.
I just need that green and yellow thing behind you to go away, man. My wife and my wife's family is all Oregon State, so I kind of had to jump on the bandwagon there, but they're doing okay. They're not great, but whatever. I
mean, you can tell Caitlin that A, I miss her. It's been a long time since I've talked to her, and B, go Ducks. That's I'm alma mater. I know that's the
thing. I can't fight against your degree, so man, you keep repping them, but man, it's killing me seeing that.
At first, I thought you meant the Flash thing, because there's some green in the title. I was
I dig the Flash. I mess with the Flash. It's okay.
There you go. So, who reached out to you to do this RB virtual clinic with? I guess it was Mario Price. How did that whole article come about?
So I had actually started doing these, during Corona. There was a coach who started these virtual coaches clinics, and he was doing like 7 or 8 a day. Mm-hmm. And, I had started with him. He asked me to do a running back stock, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and do a little virtual clinic. So I put something together. And then I had a couple more. I had one through footballscoop.com, and that was cool. And then I told Coach Price, because I had talked to Coach Price before, because he does the 35 under 35, the top 35 coaches under 35, and I always tag him and stuff, saying, whenever I meet that criteria, I'm gonna apply for one of those spots. I want that. So I told him I'd be interested. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to have you on. I saw your clinic, and it was awesome." So it's kind of happening, man. I mean, AFCA is a great, association for coaches. So I was pretty blessed to be able to do that one. That was probably one of my favorite clinics that I did over this Coronacation.
There you go. Yeah, like I read a good portion of it, and it's, you were talking about how you created that close-knit group with the RBs, and then it goes into how to, I think it was like read step, and then, when it comes to like writing about football, do you just wish sometimes there's a way to just visually show how to do all these things?
I wish, but I'm kind of like you, man. If I didn't get into teaching and coaching, I would have probably went into some writing or broadcasting.
I can see
So that's always been like, I love writing, and Caitlin's always told me that I should be a writer or I should write something. We were sitting during the break. One of my buddies had just written a book, Faith on the Field by Tony Johnson. He's the head coach here in Dallas, and I got a chance to talk to him, and he kind of pushed me to do a book. So I reached out to a couple people and just started writing. But man, it would be so much easier if I could just have a little click screen on a tablet rather than writing all that. I mean, it was only 100 pages, and I felt like I barely touched the surface.
I know, because football is a game of inches, so you want to make sure that every detail is in there, no matter like how big that step is towards the running back or towards the quarterback before hitting the pocket, or make sure the quarterback's this. Next thing you know, 100 pages down, it's like, oh crap, I barely got into the first play.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I was done after that 100 pages. I love writing as much as the next man, but I did that in about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2-3 weeks. And for the fans, we're talking about Simplified 425, available on Amazon. There's the plug for you.
There you go.
So that took you about 2 weeks to write that?
Yeah, I think it was, I think with the editing and stuff, it took me about 2 to 3 weeks to write it. But I would stay up and, I'd stay up. I'd put my laptop on my dresser, actually, in my room, and just type away. I'd probably do, I don't even know how many pages a night. I was just writing. And like I said, when I really like writing a lot. I love writing. So it really came easy. But after that 100 pages, I sent that sucker to the editor. I said, I'm done.
That was what I was going to ask you. It's like, please tell me you had an editor, because I read my own work and I know I missed a few things.
Oh God, yeah, no, there's no way. I even used Fiverr,
yeah,
which I didn't know existed before, which is awesome. So I actually used Fiverr, and I got an editor, and I even made sure, I'm like, okay, do you have any sports background? Do you have any football experience? So I made sure that whoever was editing had a general idea of what my book was about, because there was one dude that was from Spain, and he said, yeah, I know soccer. I was like, no. He's like, I know football. I'm like, yeah, buddy, you're not the one. I'm sorry.
You didn't make the cut. I'm sorry. Did you pull a full like American Idol type?
Yeah, I hit him with that Randy Jackson, man, dog. You got something, but it ain't it.
What has the response been from your book, which is about the defensive side of the football?
Man, it's been really good. I did a rough draft send out where I sent the PDF to a bunch of people, kind of a pre-order type thing. And, I had a bunch of really good responses. Amazon, I think it's only got 11 ratings right now, but I mean, I've sold like 300, 400 copies. I need more people to review that thing. But no, it's been really positive. Like, people like the book, and people have been able to ask me follow-up questions, and it's been fun.
Is there a sequel in the making?
Not for the foreseeable future. Eventually, yes, but not for a while. We're about to get in the football season. Shoot, maybe it took a global pandemic for me to write the first one. I don't know what it'll take to write the second one.
I don't want to see what happens to the world that gets Zach Kelley to write a second book.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I've already had book ideas go through my head, but
Yeah.
when I'd ever get the time to write them again, that'll be a dark day, I guess.
So you're a Spanish teacher of seven years, correct?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
is there going to be a Spanish version of this book?
There will not be.
There will not be.
There will not be a Spanish version. I don't know, one, how many copies that would sell. I don't know the time to utility ratio might be a little low on that one, but no, man. Like I always tell my kids, when they find out that I'm a Spanish teacher, all of them always say, Coach Kelley, how do you say this? How do you say this? I say, y'all, I'm a Spanish teacher. I'm fluent in Spanish, but I'm not a Spanish dictionary. There's still stuff I got to look up. If I was trying to equate that into football terms, I would probably be here all night trying to figure out how to say certain technical words in football that I just don't have time for.
Yeah, I mean, you're only on the field for about a couple hours. You can't really spend all day in that dictionary thinking, okay, well, zone right in Spanish is.
Yeah, I don't got time for that, man. I don't think I'll ever have to coach in Spanish. Well, technically, but that's a different story. But
Yeah. How was that, by the way? Being was a linebackers coach and school in Texas that's filled is primarily. Oh my God, I can't talk now. Primarily Hispanics.
it was good. It was different.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved my time at Dallas Adamson. It was, there's tons of good kids, but again, you've got to kind of adapt in how you do stuff. We had kids that, they were undocumented or their parents were undocumented. We had kids that had been there for, in the country since they were born. We had kids that had been in the country for the past 30 days that didn't speak English. So it was really unique. And again, you get it kind of, the time I'm talking about is there was a kid who had only been in the country for about a month, and he wanted to come out and play football. And other coaches would try and coach him, and he would just kind of, yeah, then do whatever he wanted. So that was the one time where I actually had to use my Spanish on the football field. But yeah, it was unique, man. I really did enjoy my time in Dallas Adams.
What was that, learning curve like to jump again to? I want to say. So I just want to know what it's like to be a coach, and there's just so many things I want to know, man. Like an open book. Let me try this one more time because I'm just a little flustered. I'm just so excited to have you on here. So that was your second coaching job in Texas, from the way you gave
That
me.
was my first coaching job.
That was the first coaching job. Were you a little shell shocked to see the kind of Texas football culture versus Oregon's?
Honestly, I was looking forward to it. When I was in Oregon, even when I was a high schooler, I always felt like, hey, there's not enough people in the stands. I feel like, people don't take this seriously enough. But then I got here and I felt right at home. Everybody in the state, most people in the state of Texas love their football, love their high school football, and it's a big deal. I mean, you got coaches making $100,000 just to coach football. So along with that comes the pressure of winning, and it just means that much more here. So like I said, when I got the opportunity to come to a national powerhouse like Cedar Hill, I had to jump at it. So it's just like I said, I told folks all the time, I got to Texas as soon as I could for this, just because I knew what it would be like from all the stories I heard. Friday Night Lights, man, it's been awesome. It's about everything I expected plus some.
Yeah. What has been the biggest mental hurdle in that transition of player to coach?
From player to coach was, I felt like the biggest difference is I understood what everybody did. I was that kid, when if a wide receiver didn't know what route they were running on a pass play, I knew what they were supposed to be running, even though I had no business knowing it. But when I became a coach, I need to learn why stuff is or why certain plays are drawn up like this versus certain fronts, or how you run fit here versus the run fit against this formation. Just all that technical why stuff. It was, like I said, I knew the how, I knew what, but I didn't know why, and that was probably the biggest thing that took me a long time to figure out.
So learning that why, learning basically, I need to go to this hole. Why did I go this hole? How much of that learning that concept is now seeping into your parenting?
My wife says I act like a coach too much sometimes at home. Caitlin says I act like a coach sometimes too much at home because, again, I got very high expectations. So, again, and I'm very, when it comes to certain things, I'm very detail oriented. So she's like, you gotta kind of let stuff go, man. Your boy's only 8, your daughter's only 6. You need to take a step back. You're not out there coaching right now. I'm like, all right, I gotta turn it down a little bit. I love my kids. I love them to death, but man, sometimes I gotta put my thumb on them, and Caitlin got to rein me back a little bit. Just keep applying that pressure. So.
Was that from your mom or your dad, would you say, that applied that pressure to you?
My mom. It's realistically, it was from both of them, but it was definitely my mom. My mom, I love her, but she's crazy as heck, man. She kept me in line for the most part when I needed it the most. So it was definitely my mom.
Yeah. And how are they doing with COVID and all that?
They're doing good. They rent a room from us, so we have
Hey.
babysitting. We have babysitting anytime we want. So they're doing great.
Yeah, I haven't seen your house, but like on some of the posts, I do see, like, let's say your front door, or just the little bit of the front that I see. You look like you're got a pretty nice looking house.
Yeah, dude, Texas real estate is great. Caitlin and I look up, real estate because we know the Northwest, especially in like Oregon in general, or just Portland, is just crazy right now. Mm-hmm. One bedroom apartment's going for a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
So we got very blessed to be where we're at right now, Cedar Hill. It's got a good sized house. We're not under a bridge right now, or we got plenty of space for our kids to grow, so it's a good spot.
Yeah. And how was their learning to kind of finish out schooling? Because I believe they did it all online once COVID became pretty big.
Yeah. I don't know about them, but I learned I'm not an elementary school teacher. I'll put it that way. I learned it that way, but no, they did good. It's, like I said, the big thing, and the reason my kids are going back whenever they can is kids 8 and 6, they need that social aspect more than everything, more than anything. So that was kind of a hindrance to them. They needed to be social. They needed to see their friends. But they did a good job otherwise adapting. We'd tell them what they needed to do. We'd help them. Me being a teacher definitely helps. Caitlin's crazy smart. So, we were able to kind of tag team that. The kids did a really good job to kind of finish out school in the odd times of a pandemic.
What is Caitlin doing for work?
She actually stays at home. She has a couple of side businesses, but she primarily stays at home to take care of the kids. And we do foster care, so
yeah,
she's able to make all the appointments for those babies and all that stuff. So
how did you get into foster care?
my wife Caitlin's always wanted to do foster care. And she always felt like God put it on her heart where she wanted to help these kids. And at first I was a little hesitant because that's it's, you don't know what those kids have been through. And we got to select age. We got to pick what age we want to take. We want to take in the younger kids, the toddlers and stuff like that. So we kind of just jumped in head first. And we've been foster parents for, I think, better part of 3 years now. I think we've had about 20 kids come in and out through emergency placements, and it's been great, man. It's really hard when those kids got to leave and they either go with family back to their parents, or they get put up for adoption. But it's been a great experience, just getting going there, trying to like you said, when God puts something on your heart, you got to feel like you got to jump in head first.
Yeah. How mentally taxing is that, balancing raising your kids and then having the foster home and then also making sure you're ready for football season?
It's not too bad. Like I said, Kaylin's great. She does so much. I cannot ask for a better person to go on this journey of life with me. If I need something, she's always there. I always know my kids are going to be taken care of. I know that when I get home, they're going to jump all over me, and I get to help her and take some of that pressure off of her. It's been good, and I help out with the foster kids whenever I can, whenever I'm not at football. We are a great team.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily know if it's mentally taxing between the kids and football. Really, it's just we're just a great team. We just keep working, and it doesn't seem like anything's really mentally taxing or we can't overcome something because we've been through so much together.
Yeah, I mean, if you two can stick together, from high school all the way on to where you are today, I mean, no challenge can really seem too big.
About 15 years.
Oh man, what's the plan for the anniversary with the celebration? You coming back
Do
to
not know
Sunset?
yet.
You gotta come back over to Portland, visit Sunset?
Hey man, hey, we were in Portland. I think it was last year or 2 years ago, but we ended up going by Sunset, man. I had some good times at Sunset. That was a unique place though. It was actually Kayla and I were talking because of Corona. I know you remember how packed those hallways were as freshmen.
Yep. It was
Especially,
especially like some of those hot spots, like right next to the
yes.
cafeterias and whatnot.
Yes, we're like, man, how's that gonna look with Corona? But anyway, man, I don't know what the anniversary is gonna look like. That'll be we actually just had our 10th wedding anniversary.
What?
Yeah, yeah, we had our 10th wedding anniversary. It was in June, the beginning of June.
Yeah.
So I took her out. We did stayed at a hotel, a nice hotel, 4-star hotel. Went out to a steakhouse and stuff like that. I don't know what the next anniversary is gonna look like. I'll cross that bridge. I'll cross that bridge about 2 months before the next anniversary, man.
There you go. When did you know that she was the one? We're kind of a little bit, I get it. We're a little bit all over the board as far as like football, Corona, Black Lives Matter. This is about you, man. I want to know when did you know that Kaylin was the one?
As crazy as it sounds, maybe it was the hormones, but it was the first day, to be honest. It may have been the first day, honestly. Just some of the stuff she did or how she talked. I was like, man, this girl's crazy. I kind of like her. But the legit one was around our senior year, the beginning. I think it was the summer of our senior year. I can't even remember specifically what we were doing, but we just started talking about it. And then I proposed to her December of our senior year, decorating a tree for Christmas. And then, like I said, we got married 6 months later.
Man, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you too. And high school sweethearts, pushing on 15 years, 3 kids, and a ton more kids as far as your players are concerned.
Yes. Got a lot of those quote unquote kids running around. I still try and keep touch with them, but there's a lot of them.
How much do you miss, having the those player, your player kids over for, a giant spaghetti dinner and FIFA or Madden or 2K, or how much do you miss those moments?
Man, that's the thing that's gonna suck about this year. Every year, I try and do a running back, little dinner and little Madden 2K tournament, and then the offensive line, we go do one with the offensive line. But again, that's gonna suck. My kids are already upset. I got 6 running backs really, and 5 of them are seniors, so they remember that. And they're like, Coach, when are we gonna do that this year? I'm like, guys, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that with COVID-19, y'all. I love those times, even if it's only for an hour or two. Just having the kids over and doing something fun for them, and again, just like I said, just really investing in those relationships.
So let's look forward a little bit. Let's say that senior that graduates and goes into college and becomes a player or becomes a college player, then goes on the NFL and then has a great career. How would you want to be remembered in that player's eyes?
Just as a coach that set them up, just laying the base fundamentals of not just football, but how to act right in life and how to do stuff right. There's so many times where football is this big business now, and I want to set them up. I want them to not think about. They can remember the time where Coach Kelley chest bumped them after they scored a touchdown all they want, but I want them to realize and remember the stuff that helped them grow to be better young men and contributing members of this society and trying to change the world that way, one person at a time. That's how I really want to be remembered. I'd love to win 10 state championships, go to Division I, be the next Nick Saban. All that's great, but I always want those kids to know. Again, I want them to have that, and again, just that Coach Kelley cared about them. I got a running back that's going to Langston University this year. He just started at the end of July, and again, I wanted him to know that again. Hey, just because you aren't wearing a Cedar Hill uniform and running the rock for us anymore doesn't mean that I don't think about you. I check up on him about every week, make sure that he's doing all right. Again, it's about those relationships that don't matter where you're at, man. I know you probably. I always remember my coaches.
Yeah, yeah. I remember Mike Mitchell, and I remember all of the Sunset High School football coaches. Freshman, sophomore year, it's like a little murky, but it's still the impact they made is what's most important.
I think freshman, sophomore years are murky for a lot of people. I know my my freshman year GPA, I think I ended up 0.1.
Ooh, but you know what? You rebound, man. You rebound.
That's what it was. That's why. Hey, that's why I'm always. That's why I always get to tell some of our kids, man, when they don't act right. I said, man, I was literally in y'all shoes. I was a turd as a freshman. But
How much of your personal experiences does seep into your coaching lessons?
all of it does.
All of it does.
All of it does, because those really made me who the man I am today. And those are the same. I want to teach these kids. I want them to understand the right paths to go through from what I've done, all the stuff that I've done wrong. I've done stuff pretty well for myself, but I've still made bad choices, just like everybody has. And I want them to, hear those stories and hear the impact from me rather than them having to go out and make those same mistakes themselves. Help them out, save them from themselves sometimes. They'll maybe do something. Coach Kelley told them a story that didn't turn out so well, and they're like, okay, maybe we'll make a better choice. So it just all seeps in, man. It's who you are is how you coach. So it is what it is.
Who you are is how you coach. Whew, that's a good one. So, Mr. Coach Kelley, as we wind this down, how are you feeling heading into the 2020 to 2021 season? What's a coaching goal you have for this upcoming football season?
Being where I am, I'd be remiss if I didn't say winning a state championship was not the goal. That's our big goal. There's a lot of football teams in Texas. Winning that is a pretty big deal, pretty big honor, and it's part of our daily goals or our vision. Our DPS, district playoff state. So that's probably the big goal. We're always trying to do that. State championship program. That's really what we want to do. We want to leave our legacy with this good senior class. Now I said juniors because that's what they were before COVID.
Yeah.
But to get this class on the field. But again, I really want all my guys to have a lot of success. So I'm looking forward to that.
There you go, man. And where can the people find you on social media?
All right, so I'm at Coach Kelley, CHHS. COACHKELLEY, because everybody messes that up. CHHS for Cedar Hill High School.
There you go. So that's Twitter and also Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram is the same.
There you go, man. God, Coach Kelley, it's so good to see you. So happy with the progress you made in life so far. You're gonna keep pushing on. You're gonna get that championship, and you're gonna keep mentoring and keep pushing kids to be their best. And I'm excited for you, man. This is awesome. I can't wait to see where you end up from here. And was it? How'd you call it? COVIDcation.
COVIDcation.
COVIDcation's coming to a close soon. Yeah, about to hit the football field.
It is. I'm excited. Just likewise, man. You're gonna be a big broadcaster. You're the next Stuart Scott.
Ooh.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow over here.
Man, that's a high bar, but you know what? You set that standard. I'm gonna try to reach it just because Zach Kelley told me to. Again, going back to how we started earlier, you can lose all the weight, but you just need that one person to tell you that you look good, and then you're just motivated.
That's all you need, man.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the interview. Do you have any follow-up questions for the guest? We'll throw them in the comments below, and I will get them answered for you. So if you like what you heard and you want to hear more from Keoni Chats, the show can be found on Spotify and iTunes. If you want a video version of the show, that can be found on YouTube under Keoni Chats. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell button to get notified when a new episode is released. If you want to connect with KC Media and Keoni Chats, go ahead and follow KC Media 13 on both Instagram and Twitter. And you can go ahead and like and follow Conluque Media, which will also take you to KC Media's page. And if you want to become a guest, go ahead and email me at kcmedia13@yahoo.com, and we'll get something scheduled. And you can also just request to have an interview with me through any of the social media platforms I just mentioned. So until the next episode, everyone, please take care.